And in happier news, we do indeed have a nice surprise for you. Something that Tax actually surprised us with by managing to find them. We weren't far off the mark, but we were a bit far off the mark in terms of where we were searching, so hold on. All will be revealed as soon as I manage to get the vehicle round. We did have it on the one side of the termite mound, and he's just gone onto the other. Let's go and catch up with him. Just check carefully. See now. I can still see him. I'm going to move, but I think he's about to pounce on his sister. I'm not entirely sure where his sister is. There you go. Look what Tax spotted for us. Ha ha. Looks like, I think that's Karula's little male, Hosanna. And I think the Chungile, Tax tells me that Chungile is very close to this area as well. No idea where Karula is. She might already, despite the hard work that she's put in over the last few days, she might already be on a mission for the next meal. 2 growing cubs, lots and lots of empty stomachs to fill. Okay, let's try and reposition. We might have to wait this one out patiently for a little bit, and just manage with a slightly poor view for a while before they decide to come out and, never mind. Eat my words there, because the lovely lady, the princess, has decided to come out as well. Another thing that we are so privileged to be able to witness, to spend time with these leopard cubs and to have watched them grow up. Oh no, you're going to the other side now. Oh, you little horror. And there's the little girl at the back. She's just climbed over her brother and onto the other side of the termite mound, which just goes to show lesson number 2 this afternoon, about showing a little bit of patience and waiting where you are. We would have had a beautiful view of her from where we were, but we do have this lovely view of Hosanna. At 8.5 months of age, the 2 of them starting to become more and more independent and very, very brave. Oh, big yawn from the little male. Usually. That being said, the 2 of them are so full. Mom has done such an amazing job of providing them for them over the last few days. Well, actually their entire lives, but especially over the last few days. For any of our new viewers who've missed out, perhaps you've just jumped on board recently, and you missed the last 2 days spent with Karula and her 2 cubs. Karula killed a Dacre live on the sunset safari with Brent, which resulted in a bent steering bar to one of the vehicles, at which point Jandre and myself rushed in, only just in time to see her put it up in a jackalberry tree. Then, the next morning, lo and behold, the Dacre was still there, but Karula was not. And during the night, while she had fetched her 2 cubs, she'd actually managed to catch an adult male impala on her way back. So she had 2 meals. And they ate the male impala first, which is a massive meal even for 3 leopard cubs. So all 3 of them were positively bulging at the seams. And then this morning they made their way back towards the Dacre, and they finished that off as well. But a Dacre is a very, very small meal, particularly if Hosanna is involved, who is living up to his reputation as a little male and eating as much as he possibly can all of the time, which I completely sympathize with. I'm much the same. So does Connor. But he's doing a lot of crowing. He's already a third bigger than his sister, I would guess. His feet are nearly the size of his mother's. You can hardly blame him. Right, the 2 of you going to make life difficult. So here's how it's going to work this afternoon, I imagine. Karula's cubs have decided they're going to have a little fun with this woman that's been sitting with them over the last 2 days. And they're going to keep moving to the opposite side of the termite mound every time she repositions. Yep. That'll do it. As I said, becoming more and more independent, which means Karula often has to work harder than she should have to try and find them again once she's left them. Last night, at the end of the sunset safari, she was desperately trying to call to the 2 of them, and they were being so naughty. I know that they were in earshot. Well, I'm certain they were within earshot. and just showing a little bit of rebellion in that whatever they were doing was more exciting, and they didn't come straight to mom straight away. Little girl did. Shungile did eventually. But it took Karula a long time to be able to call them out. So for now, she's done what any good female leopard does. She's left them in a safe place whilst she goes off and hunts for something. They've got nice, dense vegetation around this termite mound to hide them. And should anything really serious come along, they have a false marula tree growing on the termite mound in front of them. And that will provide the safest possible place for them in the event of, let's say, lions coming through, or perhaps even hyenas or wild dogs. And she knows now life's become a lot less worrying for Karula and for all of us, in that the cubs at 8 months old are really a lot more alert, a lot more aware. Not that they weren't instinctively when they were younger, but now they've got the coordination and the speed to be safe from all but the most dire of threats, provided they keep their attention focused and don't become too lax. They're going to be absolutely fine. And Karula's got to go and do and put in the hard work now and head off once again to go and find them a meal. Can you believe it? Already she's had to head off. While they sit here, they will entertain themselves by either playing with each other, perhaps dozing, and maybe even practicing their hunting skills for when the time comes that they are fierce predators just like their mum. Marsha, you want to know if I think either cub has killed something yet, even a small animal? Yes, I do. We suspect, we don't fully know, but we suspect that Hosanna actually killed a scrub hare not too long ago. Chandra, were you there? Do you remember when it was? I know, our sense of time, I have to be honest, for all of us, when he was 4 months old, or 4 months ago. You're right, it is the same-ish. That is how maths works. Sorry, Chandra. That is how maths works, if they're 8 months old. 4 months ago would make them 4 months old, yep. Just pretend I didn't say that. Do some stupid things sometimes. So, Marsha, yes, we suspect Hosanna killed the scrub hare that time, but we don't really know. It could have been Karula, and he might just have been playing with it and being possessive over it. We saw Sindile with his dwarf mongoose killed. It was the first kill that we saw him with a year and a bit ago, and he must have been close to about 10 months. And I don't think it was his first kill. I think he had probably made more previously. So yes, I think they have killed small things, even if it's just a small lizard. But chances are they have managed to kill something. It's amazing, the instinct. It really is phenomenal, and it just goes to show how innate it truly is, how built in it truly is. Female leopards don't have to teach their offspring to hunt. They're just there. It's built into their genetic code. The knowledge of how to go about it. And that's why I'm actually quite looking forward to an afternoon spent with these two, because the more you sit patiently, the more amazing things that you see. And anything from a francolin to a mongoose could come stumbling through, and we can watch them practice their hunting technique, which is definitely not particularly refined. You see? Look at him. He spotted something. I don't know what he's seen. I just want to see for 1 second. Yeah, there he goes. Before we reposition, that's what I was thinking. I thought he was looking in that direction. So before we go all the way around, going to investigate. See, look at this. How perfectly timed was this? He's stalking something. I don't want to turn on the vehicle and interrupt him until I've got a better idea of what he's after. There's lots and lots of dwarf mongoose in this particular area, so it could be one of them. It could be a lizard that attracted his attention. That's where his sister was earlier, so there's something there. I can just see the tip of a tail. You see, investigating. How perfectly timed was this? What you after, little boy? That smooth movement we've seen his mother do so many times before. Inching forward, almost liquid in the way that they move like this. I can't reposition. I'm going to have to stay where we are. I think whatever it is, he's already been unsuccessful. If it's under that log, he's far too close. Let's just sit and wait for a second. Let's see if he gets there. Hasn't fully mastered the flat-bellied leopard crawl just yet. But he is doing quite well with slinking 101. What you investigating? Because if you're trying to catch a lizard or a reptile, your technique leaves much to be desired. Oh, now is he digging? Did he sneeze? Oh, is that what that was? At the moment I can see a shoulder blade and a bottom. Oh. Bye. I think he just lay down. That flopping motion. Okay. Or maybe just in search of, or pretending that he was just in search of a nice, comfortable sleeping spot. And we'll pretend that we believe him. Let's go around to the other side. Just in time for Shungilia to come this side. Let's see how we go. At least the light will be really nice that side. So thank you to everybody sending through your screenshots. I hope you all know that I will be going straight back this evening to steal your screenshots of the baby elephant. Obviously don't have a camera with me, and I wouldn't have used it anyway, to be honest. I was far too caught up in the situation. But I'm going to be stealing lots of screenshots today. It will almost be quite fun to do a time-lapse of the growth of the cubs from all of your screenshots. If we could somehow manage to create some kind of uniformity in terms of which ones we chose, perhaps the cubs next to Karula, and use her as a benchmark, and then do a time-lapse. Do a time-lapse combination of little cubs as they've grown bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, like those people who take a photograph of their children every day for 26 years or whatever it happens to be. That might be a slight exaggeration, but you know what I mean. We should actually think about doing the same things with the cubs. In fact, I wish I thought of that earlier. Really, let's just settle with this for now, and I'll answer Wendy's question, and then I'll just get an idea of where he is and how to go about repositioning again. Wendy, we want to know, do we have any idea how many cubs Karula has lost over the years? We know of one set, definitely, obviously, because that was the tragedy that happened live. In my own mind, I don't think that it's possible for us to be certain that she did or didn't lose any others. It's quite easy to miss pregnancy in leopards, particularly when they've got full bellies. It might not have been noticed. She might have been unsuccessful in the past. I'm not saying she was. I'm saying it's impossible for us to have known, or for anyone to have known. Obviously, I wasn't here, so I wasn't observing her personally. I've only arrived in the last year and a half. But my guess would be probably just in terms of statistics and mathematics, but who knows? I mean, Karula's beaten the odds so many times with 5 different successful litters. that it's impossible for us to say. So no, we know she's lost one set. We cannot confirm whether or not she's lost any others. And I don't think anybody can, because we spend such a small percentage of these animals' lives with them. And not that we're complaining, because we're very grateful. I think we can actually reposition here. Okay, I think that's going to be as good as it gets. We've got little monster in the fallen tree, and little monster number 2 on the termite mound. Let me just see what kind of a view Jean has got from his perspective. Almost, slightly to the left and down. It's alright. I'm not going to complain. Ephraim, if you come along the southern side of that drainage, you'll see me from the road. Hello, little one. And one little cub there, and the other passed out on the termite mound. And I don't see any sign of Karula. While I've been watching the two of them, I've been double checking to see whether or not she's in the area. Don't think so, though. I think she's gone off searching for food to feed insatiable appetites. I can't believe I forgot to comment on that. Speaking of our leopards in general, James Richard, you would like to know, because this morning, of course, turned out to be quite tricky in that there was a massive queue to go and see the Anderson male, but finally got there at the end of the drive. But I was obviously with a school class, so I couldn't really discuss it with our regular viewers, because we were chatting and taking questions from the school kids, which of course is so important, so we're not complaining about that at all. Hold on a second. I'm just going to see if I need to... Sorry, James. Let me just see if I need to make space for Ephraim. I think I might need to. No, if one is under here. One is under this combretum here, and then the other here on the termite mound. So I think... Okay, you're okay to go around that side. Hi, everybody. Alright, sorry James Richard, I just needed to discuss with Ephraim about which way he should go in order to be able to see these cubs properly. Hello, gorgeous, with your brown eyes. So James Richard would basically like to say, now that I've seen Anderson, would I think that he is as big as everybody, do I think he's as big as everybody makes him out to be? Yes, he is. He's absolutely massive. He's an absolutely monstrous size leopard. That being said, there's not a huge, personally, I mean, I almost got shouted at when I mentioned this earlier. I don't think there's that big a difference between him and Tingana. I mean, maybe 10 kilograms, if that. He is truly a beast of a leopard, and the true power lies in his biceps and his forearms. Tingana, in his strength, is a very, very big boy. He comes close. One thing I will say about Anderson is that he is very different looking to all of our other leopards. Shungile, with her beautiful innocent face, is almost a different species. Obviously they're the same. But for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, the Anderson male is rumored to be one of the biggest leopards in the northern Sabi Sand. If not, there's some argument about this, but there are some people better qualified than I who have seen some of the large male leopards of the Sabi Sand. He is rumored to be one of the largest leopards the Sabi Sand had ever seen. He's massive. I mean, he's at least 90 kilograms. He's probably more. And I have to say, I wouldn't want to have to come up against him in a fight. Having seen how easily he hoisted that warthog up into the tree. His face is very, very different to any of our leopards. Brent described him last night as a gangster or a mob boss when he got home. And that is sort of what he's square-jawed. He's got small eyes for a leopard. and they are, I don't know how to describe it. They're very different, tiny pupils, very tiny pupils. He's completely unique. I'm very grateful that I got to see him. He's a very special leopard. Hold on, where's this little one off to? So absolutely, he has earned his reputation, but I haven't quite fully got a grasp of his character yet. I can only tell you what he looks like, and he looks very, very different. He's also odd. He's not fully comfortable with cars, which isn't odd in itself, of course, that he's fully within his right to be that way. Whoopsie, thorn in foot. Slinking underneath the next tree, searching for entertainment. I don't know, I find him fascinating. I'm intrigued, that's the word. I find Anderson intriguing. Look at the little female. She's going to go for her brother, who is flat on her back. See? Told you, as soon as we get round to this side, they're going to go to the other side. Is she going to rush her brother or not? He's just disappeared. I can't see where he's gone.
He's in that thicket.
Oh, there he goes. Just disappearing behind the termite mound. Something else has attracted his attention, completely unaware that he is being watched by the fiercest predator out here, his sister. Who I think is not going to pounce. I think she's just going to watch. Okay, we will need to move out of the sighting to make room for other vehicles. So while I hop on the Game Drive channel, let's head across to Brent to find out how his search for the Nkuhumas is going. Back with the Queen once again and watching one of the gorgeous cubs attempt to open the carcass that she has left for them. So she's killed another adult impala, another adult ram impala. She's incredible. I mean, that is an antelope that is basically her size. And at the moment, this little cub is attempting to work out how this all works. What now? How are you going to get this open? And this is the one thing that female leopards do leave their cubs to figure out on their own. How to get a carcass open, which is not as easy as you might think. The skin of the animal is very, very thick, and it requires a practiced technique. And whilst their hunting instincts are innate, practicing on an impala like this, there we go, there's the suffocation hold that we've seen the lions demonstrate before. Shame, poor impala. Not much dignity in death, but definitely being used as a cub training device. I believe that you saw something similar with Brent not too long ago with Shungile. Here we go again, attempting to find her way in. Interesting already how female leopards often show a little bit more in the way of independence. Let's see now, she's tucking in. Whoop, climbing on top of that impala. Yes, there we go. That's the end you should be going for. Not always that easy when you're not so big, huh? Oh, pulling it to get in. Just by the way, when she does get in, this might not be a sighting for sensitive viewers. For those of you who perhaps are a little squeamish, Perhaps this is your first time on a live safari. It could get quite gross quite quickly. It's all nature, it's all the reality of nature, and this little one has to learn these skills in order to survive. But for some of you, it might not be what you want to watch. I'm just warning you in advance. Oh, shame. Well, she's gone for one of the most vulnerable parts of the body, and that she'll definitely be able to break the skin of. It is really, really important that she does practice the skill. It's not that easy. And you can see it's a challenge for her. But she'll learn as she gets older, and she'll learn which technique works best. And she's discovering which parts of the animal are the softest, so that she can actually tuck in. And she goes ripping away at the abdominal cavity. In the meantime, her brother is off exhausted to the side, flopped in a pile of spots, and little white belly showing still. He's still actually, he doesn't look that round anymore. It's amazing how fast these animals' digestive system really works. And then, of course, the queen responsible for all of this is lying off to the side, recovering after what was probably quite a difficult hunt. Well done, girl. 2 adult male impala in less than 3 days. That's not bad for any leopard, let alone a female with 2 growing cubs. Are you going to go and help your sister? Or not really? Going to let her do all the hard work and then scoff all the food? Possibly. And Connie, absolutely. How amazing have our sunset drives been recently? We've been unbelievably fortunate. We've been so fortunate that at times it's been difficult to choose what to do and where to go. From Karula and her cubs being on Djuma, the lion's always on Djuma, the Anderson male, the Talala prides, that baby elephant that is still mind-boggling, still not entirely or fully functioning at the moment. We've been truly very, very lucky. And some of that has to do with the drought, at least in terms of predators, and the fact that we're seeing them all. October is one of the best times to be in the bush to see sights like this. One of the top time to see the big cats. But it hasn't just been that, has it? There's been something truly special about the bush at the moment. It's just been providing endless amounts of endless amounts of entertainment. Oh, Susie, you wanted to know, can this little leopard break the skin? She can. She can. But it's hard. It's really hard work for her. The task that her mother has left her with is a difficult one. Mom hasn't even bothered eating any of it. She's left this whole process for little Shungile. And look at this. As she tumbles off the back of the impala. She's learning so much in these moments. Learning which joints to go for, where the joints of an impala actually sit. Because, of course, knowing where the joints are in a prey animal can be essential, especially when trying to go for something large. She's learning the soft parts, the armpits, learning the shape of an impala face for the time that perhaps she doesn't get her neck hold right and she's got to hold it by the nose. No, distraction. Fly. Elbow. Noise. Fly. Oh, they're all gorgeous. I think it's dead, Shungile. I think you killed it. Well done. Such a happy little leopard. Oh, and distraction. She's actually quite hyped up. She's almost overexcited. And that instinct really, truly kicking in. And now she's exhausted herself. Mark, absolutely. His Royal Highness, Prince Hosanna, is waiting for his sister to do all of the kitchen work and the hard work before he tucks into his meal. Somehow I have... She's having fun, you know. She really, truly is. And somehow I have a feeling that if we come back tomorrow and Karula's managed to hoist this kill, the first animal we're going to see feeding on it will be Hosanna. Look at her. You can see how hyped up and on edge she is. Okay, we're going to go sit down now. Oh, you've given up so easily. Oh, look at that face. The innocence in those eyes. Now, we spoke about this fact before. Oh. Wow, what a pounce. See, she's practicing. It's not just about opening this carcass either. It's about practicing different things, different approaches, pounces, leaps and jumps. Just a reminder for our newer viewers, we spoke about this earlier, and with spotlighting ethics, unfortunately because this kill is on the ground, because she's got 2 cubs with her, we won't be spotlighting the scene, so we're going to spend as long as the light will permit us with them, and then we're going to have to start leaving. We've got a few more moments, though, to spend with her. I mean, look at that. Grappling with the task that her mother has left her with. Yes, much easier to chew a tree for a bit, isn't it? Full roll. We've been thoroughly spoiled this afternoon, I have to say. I'm sorry, she's just so thoroughly entertaining. Kevin, you wanted to know if some animals do kill and then eat quickly, or if some of them leave it. Wild dog and cheetah and lion often tuck in almost straight away. Gianna is having a great chuckle at the back there. She is so thoroughly engaging. Leopards, well, actually, all of the big cats, if their chase has been particularly difficult, to the point that they're actually overheating, you'll often see them take a break before they start tucking into the food that they've caught. They're just too exhausted to eat, or to even think about eating. So you'll see it with all of them. That leg's pesky, isn't it, little one? You'll see it with leopards, lions, and cheetah. They might stop and take a break to cool down. Wild dogs wolf their food down to the point that they often leave scraps behind, which we saw in spectacular style the day that Karula went and gathered the leftovers from the wild dog kill and added it to her kill in the tree, safely ensconced as she watched the wild dogs race across beneath her. Now, that was a truly amazing time. And then, of course, what happened with Karula and the daycare is another good example. She killed the daycare, she put it in her tree, and she stumbled across an adult impala that she then managed to catch and kill. And being an opportunist that she is, she's not going to leave food to go to waste. Ate the impala first because she couldn't hoist it into the tree. Although I suspect this is heavy. This is a very heavy kill. We've got to really hope that Karula actually at some point relatively soon gets up and feeds off as much as possible. She's still letting Shungile practice for now, but if she manages to hoist that kill into the tree, I will be unbelievably impressed. She's done it before, but this is a big ram. It's a massive ram. Going to be seriously hard work. She almost needs to feed off it now so that she can get it up into the tree. But that being said, I'm not entirely sure how much space Karula has right now. She was so full-bellied when we last saw her that this entire feat is truly impressive. Let's enjoy what little we can see of the cub playing on the carcass. It's very shaky, I'm afraid. So let's take one last look, and then we're probably going to have to leave. It just is so incredibly dark. Tucking in. We'll try and make the absolute most of it. That's your tail, dear. No, that's still your tail. Whee! Oh, now there's a stick on you. See, she's very hyped up in terms of that hunting instinct. Like a cat playing with a ball of wool, except much more serious, because of course her survival depends on these skills that she's practicing right now. She's so tiny that when she sits on the impala, her legs don't even touch the ground. You've got to pick an approach, my girl. Those of you with cats will have seen this behavior before. When they have their sort of silly 5 or 10 minutes when they jump on top of something, whether it is a feather or a toy or whatever it is that you're playing with them, and you see them go into that, it's almost like their pupils dilate and they can't focus and they're scattered all over the place. It's exactly what we're looking at with Shungile. But it's very, very serious for her because, of course, her future depends upon it. It's too dark, I'm afraid. I think it's time for us to go. I have to get out of here without switching on my lights while we navigate our way out so that we don't risk compromising Karula's position. So I think let's go now while I can still see a little bit. What an incredible afternoon it's been. Bye-bye, you three. Well done, Karula. See you tomorrow morning.